Hey, it's the Overdose Talk Show. What's going on, everybody? What is this? 6/23/2017. That's how you know when this was. That's the number of days and years it's been since Christ. I like how we're still doing that. It's been 2017 years since Jesus was born. That's how we'll all keep track of things forever. Yes, I want to say hello to all the loyal fans, all fucking 17 of you. It's kind of fucked up that we just stopped making shows for like 3 months without saying anything or doing anything or telling anyone why. So sorry about that. But I'm by myself obviously tonight, and I'm gonna start doing the show. I can't rely on anyone, all right? And sometimes priorities are not the same, between all of us, and all kinds of shit goes on. I'm just going to go back to basics. I'm going to do this show by myself if I have to. If people are around, good. I'll get some guests on. I'll make it happen. It's going to be fine, but I just wanted to jump back in. Nothing special tonight, but just jump back in and get my feet wet a little bit, as they say. I don't know how you jump in, but only your feet get wet. I guess I'm jumping in a puddle. Anyways, let's talk about Philando Castile up there in Minnesota. This came out a long time ago. I don't remember exactly when we did it on the show here. Tons of people talked about it. Obviously, his girlfriend went live on Facebook seconds after he was killed, and there was a lot of debate about it for a long time. Some people even thought it was fake for a long time, because there are, and I'm not somebody that doesn't think anything is faked. Shit, I was a Sandy Hook, I wouldn't say denier. I would say what a lot of people would call like a Sandy Hook conspiracy theorist or whatever. But this one, a lot of people jumped on as fake for some reason. Now the dash cam video came out. I don't think it's possible that it was faked, to be honest with you, at this point. Anyways, that's how crazy this conversation got. So this week, the cop that shot him was acquitted of all criminal charges. His name was Jeronimo Yanez, or Yanez, whatever, however you say it. I'm looking at his picture. He looks to be maybe a Native American fellow, or possibly someone of Mexican heritage. Now a bunch of stuff is coming out, now that the trial is over. They released the dash cam video. They released a bunch of information about the case. Something stuck out to me. This guy, Jeronimo, a day after the shooting, he says he pulled over Philando Castile, who, by the way, by all accounts, seems to be a really great guy. And, as much as when the police kill someone, usually they try to assassinate their character in the media. All they've come up with this guy is he had weed in the car. Oh my God. Well, Jesus Christ, shoot him in the fucking head then, why don't you? God damn it. Why'd you even give him a chance? Why don't you just shoot him twice in the fucking head if he had marijuana? Are you kidding me? Oh, but it's illegal to be carrying your weapon and consuming alcohol and marijuana. Shut up, you fucking faggots. God damn it. Anyways, everything that's come out about this guy, about Philando, makes him look to be a really great guy. So the cop that shoots him says, yes, I pulled him over because he matched the description of a suspect in a gas station robbery, and he had that he had responded to a week prior to the shooting. So that's a day later. But if you watch the video, he never says anything about that at the time. The cop, I'm saying. He doesn't indicate, there's nothing to indicate that at all. I don't think he ever says that over the radio or anything. He also says that he smelled the odor of burnt marijuana in Castile's car, and as he walked up to the driver's side window. Oh, but he didn't tell Castile that he smelled the marijuana at first because he didn't want him to react in a defensive manner. In my experience with police, that is not at all their modus operandi, as they say. generally the first words out of their mouth when they pull me over are, "Hey, it smells like weed around here." Okay. You'll see, and I'll play a little bit of the audio, a few seconds of it. Just the main event there where he gets shot. And you'll see all this guy talks about is a busted tail light. Everything is very calm. He doesn't act like he's approaching somebody that he thinks is a really dangerous suspect. So then this cop also says he was worried that Castile may be carrying a weapon for protection from drug dealers or others trying to, quote, rip or steal from him. Having no reason to fucking think that whatsoever. Honestly, this is one that, a lot of times I don't really like to make the police stuff a racial issue because I think it, everybody, although it does happen a higher percentage of time to black people, as is proportionate with their share of the population, I think we should all be together in this, so I don't like to racialize the thing normally, although I do fully acknowledge that black people totally have a fucking a legitimate complaint as being particularly singled out. Definitely. Try to get mad at that. All right, now this is one of those cases where I think race did come into it. And now the cop doesn't have to be white. Here's another thing. The cop doesn't have to be white for race to come into it. There's a lot of black cops that are racist against black people. Ask around. It's a real thing. Mexican cops, a lot of places, Mexicans and black people, they don't really like each other very much. I don't know if you know about that, but, that happens. My only point is, this tends to end up being portrayed as some kind of like black versus white thing. The cop obviously is not white. I'm saying he doesn't have to be. Cops, you get my point. They target black neighborhoods, always have. And I know that the cops will say, well, look, that's where the most crime is going on in a lot of places, in certain cities and stuff. That's where the crime. But it's like it's one of those. I don't know if it's somewhere between a chicken and an egg argument and a self-fulfilling prophecy thing. It's like somewhere in this area of like, look, yeah, the crime stats are a lot higher there, but is that because of selective and increased enforcement, which then, the legal system does not produce rehabilitated people. It produces worse fucking people. We all know this. So if you're selectively enforcing crimes and going after a certain population since, say, like the 50s and 60s, you know what I mean? Or before, whatever kind of, there's a lot of different nuances to this. It then becomes this, very muddy argument that a lot of people see a lot of different ways about how this crime is produced. Whatever. What I'm saying is I understand that whole side of it, that argument. I disagree with it. I think the government and police are to blame for the horrible conditions in a lot of places, and not just the government, obviously, the fucking shadow government and everything we talk about that deliberately wants to keep us all divided and blah, blah, blah. God, I've been saying the same fucking shit for 8 years. It's exhausting. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Is this making any sense, or am I just a crazy person ranting in a fucking room here? Sitting here alone, just doing this. Okay. The cop then goes on to say, it appeared to me that he had no regard to what I was saying. He didn't care what I was saying. He still reached down. And I'm going to play it for you. We're going to go over this. I'll tell you exactly what the fuck happened. It's very unfortunate timing of everything and stuff. And really, this cop had to be at a heightened level of paranoia for this to even happen. Whatever. Maybe he did mistake this guy for a suspect. I give it about a fucking 15% chance that that's true. That's what I would give it, because that's such a standard cop line whenever they do something wrong. Oh, yeah, dude, I totally thought he was a murderer. Nope, my bad. Anyways, that's my job. That's what I'm supposed to do. So, I won't get real life consequences for this. I'll just get fired or something, but everything will be cool. He said, I know he had an object. It was dark. It was, I don't know if I'd even give it Twilight, to be honest with you, in the dash cam video. It's pretty light. Pretty goddamn light out. It's not noon, you know. It's later in the day, but it's light. He then said he was concerned for the little girl in the back, who was Castile's girlfriend's daughter. I thought it was his daughter. I don't even know what the fuck is going on anymore. As that was happening, he goes on to say, as that was happening, as he was pulling out his hand, I thought I was gonna die, and I thought if he has the guts and the audacity to smoke marijuana in front of the 5-year-old girl and risk her lungs and risk her life by giving her secondhand smoke and the front seat passenger doing the same thing, then what does he give a care about me? No. What care does he give? This is what he says. What care does he give about me? Who fucking talks like that? This is particularly hilarious. All of the things that he's said so far are pretty ridiculous, but this one, to me, really is the cream of this particular crop of bullshit. Let's just go. You know what? I'm going to grab the audio right now. Here we go. Let's see how long it is from the very first mention of a firearm. If you're not familiar with the story, Philando Castile tells the officer as he's going to show him his, concealed carry permit and that kind of shit. He says, "I have to tell you, I'm licensed to carry a firearm. I have a firearm on me, blah, blah, blah." Cop immediately, well, let's just play it, and you can see for yourself. Did he have time to sit there and think that entire fucking paragraph that I just read to you? Here we go. The cop told him he had his tail light out and whatever a second ago.
I do have a firearm on me.
Don't reach for it then. Don't pull it out.
Don't pull it out.
So, from the first mention of the firearm at 1:37 to the first shot fired by this officer, 5 seconds. So apparently he had time during that 5 seconds to make this very, very well thought out and nuanced and insightful observation while he was talking, interrupting, panicking, and then murdering. Let's go back to this part really quick. I just want you to see, like, this is how paranoid this cop is. Philando says, "I just want to tell you that I have," and he goes, okay. Like, the cop's like interrupt, going, okay. He's like already just kind of freaking out, and that's why I think, I don't know, man. I don't know. I think this one, there's a good case to be made that it's definitely racially motivated.
I do have a firearm on me.
Don't reach.
I do have a okay. The fuck is wrong with this guy?
Firearm on me.
Don't reach for it then. Don't pull it out.
And then he says, clearly, I'm not pulling it out.
Firearm on me.
Don't reach for it then. Don't pull it out. Don't pull it out.
Said, I'm not pulling it out. And this is going to be debated forever. Oh, well, what should he have done? Yeah, okay. If you want to be really, really careful and safe around police, yeah, you inform them of everything and you go, hey, I'm going to reach for this. And I'm not saying that you should fucking have to do that. It's ridiculous that you have to do that. But I'm telling you, when I've been around agitated police officers, I do things extremely cautiously and deliberately. So I know that's in the argument. But still, that doesn't fucking excuse this shit. This is still ridiculous any way you slice it. We can sit here and debate all day. Well, what should you do when you're dealing with crazy murderers? Like, yeah, I get it. But, I mean, that's not the fucking argument. The argument is why is this cop shooting somebody 7 times? 7 fucking times without having seen a firearm whatsoever. He never pulled it. They said it was in his pocket. His girlfriend said no, it was in the holster inside his pants. she said, you know, he was reaching for in his pocket for the paperwork. By the way, if this whole thing doesn't break your heart enough, Jesus Christ, this is the footage from inside the cop car that, yeah, they take his girlfriend, by the way, and they fucking handcuff her and throw her in the back. At this point, nobody's committed any crimes except for maybe weed, I guess. But we all know how I feel about that. Fucking ridiculous law, right? So, nobody's committed any actual crimes. They shoot Philando 7 times, and they shoot him 7 times, and then they handcuff his girlfriend and put her in the back of a squad car with the little girl who was in the car while they shot him. He fired 7 times into a car with a 4-year-old girl in the back seat. This fucking coward. Piece of shit cop. Ugh, surprise, surprise, right? So, if you didn't see this, this is the daughter talking to the mom, you know, right after this happened.
Please stop saying cousins and screaming because I don't want you to get shooted.
I don't know what the beginning of that is really hard to understand, but she says, I don't want you to get shooted. Jesus Christ. That's fucking heartbreaking. Seriously, it takes a lot for me to actually feel anything anymore, you know? Like, I can just fucking eat a slice of pizza while I watch a beheading video. I really don't give a fuck anymore. But that one is fucking just gut-wrenching. And there's also a video where they take, you know, where they're questioning the girlfriend in the police station that night still, while she's waiting to find out the status of her boyfriend who's already dead, and she doesn't know it. And she's sitting there answering their questions for a fucking hour or whatever it was. The whole thing is fucking disgusting. This guy wasn't out to harm anybody. All indications are that he was a really good guy. He worked with children, apparently was really well liked in his community, and was somebody that people looked up to and trusted. Oh, and here's another thing. The fucking NRA is completely absent on this entire fucking story. They couldn't be bothered with this. Oh no, a law-abiding, all this shit that I don't fucking actually give a fuck about, to be honest with you. Fuck laws. Fuck all of that bullshit. But this is their shtick, right? The NRA is all about law-abiding, legal gun ownership. And here's one of your boys then. One of your boys just got fucking murdered for no reason. Where you at, NRA? How come you're not down for this cause? How come this isn't government trampling over the rights of a gun owner? How come this isn't senseless bloodshed for the sake of gun control agendas, like you do with things that really suit your fucking political agenda, right? But no, like you do with things that really suit your political stances. But no, because your main support base, you know good and well, is kind of just middle-of-the-road Republicans who are going to support police every time anything ever happens, no matter what. You can't fucking really get involved in this one, can you? Everyone's a fucking hypocrite. Look, I'm not a fucking Democrat. I'm not a whatever. Fuck all of you. I honestly, I don't give a fuck about this place anymore. You can fucking have it. I just want to get the fuck out of here, to be honest. If I can get enough money, people will, you don't like it? Leave. Yeah, do you know how much fucking money it takes if they even let you leave? If you're not somebody like me that's done so much crazy shit that other countries probably won't take you either. So what the fuck am I gonna do, man? I don't know, but I'm seriously, I've had it with this fucking country and the way that politics has completely consumed the collective psyche of a nation of 300 plus million people that otherwise are capable of logic. Some of them are, but you know, everyone is committed to these ridiculous positions that I'll align with everything that agrees with this, and not just like, you know, for real. How is the NRA not fucking concerned that the police gunned down someone who calmly informed them, hey, I have a a firearm. I'm going to show you the, don't reach for your gun. I'm not reaching for my gun. Boom, boom, boom. Come on, man. Jesus Christ. All right, fuck all of you. I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be right back on the Overdose Talk Show. Thanks for hanging out. All right, we're back on the Overdose. I will admit now that I'm definitely biased when it comes to the police issue. I'm definitely somebody that you would describe as anti-police, due to probably the fact that most of my experiences as a young person with police were very negative. Yeah, there definitely are a lot of white people that have this same experience, and it a lot of times is more of an economic, a socio-economic, if you will, kind of issue. If you are of the sort of lower class counterculture kind of thing in your town where you grew up, and there's a heavy police presence, chances are you'll be targeted by those officers who are sworn to serve and protect you. So yeah, I've always hated police. I've gone in and out of it. When I was a kid, I just hated them in a purely emotional way. Just fucking fuck you. I'm a renegade crazy guy, right? You know, I'm 16. I know a lot of fucking shit right now, and I'm going nuts out here, and you're fucking getting in the way. Fuck you. And as I went along, I hit a streak in my 20s where I thought, hey, look, a lot of police are people who, a lot of them are pretty awakened, and they understand what's wrong with government and stuff, and they don't like politicians and stuff either, but they're just doing their jobs and blah, blah, blah. And eventually I came around to the philosophy that there is a such thing as individual responsibility and individual accountability, and that the Nuremberg defense doesn't work. And that's something that they used to tell us as kids, by the fucking way. That used to be like a thing adults would tell you when I was a kid. Hey, just following orders is not an excuse. That used to be a thing. So then I began the slow march towards just completely hating police. And here's the fucking thing about it. People think you're an asshole. People think you're immature. Blah, blah, blah. For saying stuff like that. And I guess maybe we should figure out a better way to declare what we're actually pissed off about. Because I'm not pissed off at fucking detectives for solving a murder. You know what I mean? I'm not pissed off at detectives for solving a rape case. I'm not pissed off at that. I'm pissed off at the fact that there's so many fucking people that are willing to, for a lower middle class wage, violate the basic human rights of millions of people with things like the war on drugs. That there's now over 1 million people, nonviolent drug offenders, in prison as a result of. Which, to shackle someone and lock them in a cage by a threat of force or use of force is an inherently violent act. And if it's not to stop violence, then it's inherently immoral. You don't lock someone in a fucking cage for making choices for themselves and making consensual transactions with other fucking adults. The fact that people that think like me are in the minority is fucking disturbing, because this is basic fucking shit. This is shit you learned in preschool. Keep your fucking hands to yourself. Let's be pleasant to each other. Let's be nice. Let's have a good fucking time. Yeah, fuck you. This is not radical fucking thinking. This is basic fucking logic. And the reason I say fuck so much, if you want to be one of those fucking people that goes in the comments and goes, oh, your swearing is really detracting from your message. The reason I say fuck so much is because I'm an angry motherfucker because of stupid fucks like you. That's why. Fuck you. So yeah, I'm gonna recognize that I have a bias here, and that there is some emotion involved with the way I feel about law enforcement. I don't hate those people that solve murders. Like, I watched Law and Order. I've seen it. SVU, you know, even with all the little programming that's in there and shit, it's pretty hilarious if you're somebody who looks for that kind of shit. How they're constantly justifying cops breaking the law to serve a greater moral purpose. Man, right. I get it. It's terrible. But look, you don't hate the SVU people, right? Because they're going after some real bad guys, right? If that's what cops were, honestly, I've said this 100 fucking times, believe me or don't. If cops actually were people that investigated real crimes that had victims, and that's all they did, and it wasn't 85% of the time victimless crimes, I'd probably fucking be a cop. That's been my passion in life, is exposing these fucking piece of shit criminals. So if I had a system that made any goddamn sense to work with, I'd probably fucking be a cop, to be honest with you. But as it stands right now, I fucking hate police. So there you go. Again, try to get mad at that, you fucking assholes. Okay, whatever. I live in New Orleans still. And as far as cops go here, one thing I will say is they don't really fucking bother with too much as they're just kind of driving around town and whatever. I know things probably happen, but you don't see a lot of these fucking controversial videos and stories and shit coming out of New Orleans. The police here, they have a deep corruption. they're like old school about it, you know. It's definitely there's plenty of shit going on, but my point is they don't just kind of drive around just fucking with people. And I would way prefer this situation. I always said I lived in another place in Illinois, Willow Springs, Illinois, where the police department culturally and historically was very corrupt and mob run, and there was a lot of history of just kind of like everybody keeping their mouth shut around there and not really questioning anything, and the police kind of just not really hassling anybody for stupid shit, you know. That's the type of environment I like. You know, when I lived in Illinois, the police just chilled at the fucking gas station and ate donuts and drank coffee and whatever, and I'm like, okay, yeah, do that. Like, don't be going around fucking with everybody. And they didn't. And it was cool. And that's kind of how New Orleans is. They're probably doing enough shit that's a little bit more high priority, you know, violent crime or shit like that. But also, the culture of the police here is not to drive down the street and go, hey, you look kind of weird. What are you doing? What the fuck? You know, like it is in a lot of places. And just to drum up crime. You know, and I don't know if it's just because there's enough real crime already or if it's just a difference in culture, but you know, I can deal with the cops here. It's really not a fucking issue a lot of the fucking time for most people that live here of any race, to be honest. Like they're not just driving around fucking with everybody. I might get some real shit for this. If that's not true, I don't know, let me know, man. Let me know in the comments. You don't have to be a dick. I'll listen to you if that's not true, but that's the way it seems to me. But just to do like a little professional segue here, you know, the cops are easier to deal with in New Orleans, but what about the food? Man, everybody says this place is a food town, and I gotta tell you, I disagree in a way. Let me tell you what it really is with New Orleans. If you have a whole fucking pile of money that you want to spend on dinner, you can get some incredible fucking food. Definitely. But if you live here and you just want, like, you know, something for fucking $15, it's shit. This town is such a low standard for fucking regular people food. The amount of times we have ordered food, me and my girlfriend in the past 2 years have probably tried, I'm gonna be conservative here, to be really honest with you. We've probably tried at least 75 different restaurants. I'm not shitting you. We've tried so many fucking places. And I would say that about 95% of those restaurant experiences have been extremely disappointing. Now, we both grew up outside of Chicago. which I will maintain. Man, I know everybody has a lot of their fucking opinions on food and blah, 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 whatever. Chicago is fucking great for your just average fucking food, like your average restaurant. I gotta say fuck a lot, don't I? Your average restaurant where you spend $10 and you get some regular shit, you know? And like 80% of the time it's delicious because it's competitive there. People have a lot of choices and they're very loyal to certain restaurants and establishments in the Midwest and Chicago, you know. It's very serious with the whole restaurant game. So your average diner and your average place, it's fucking delicious compared to almost everything in New Orleans. I swear to God. And I'm talking about the suburbs. You're just shopping center, culturalist town, you know, just sitting there. Food is fucking delicious, dude. And I cannot say that for New Orleans. And I cannot say that for a lot of the goddamn South or a lot of the Midwest or a lot of anywhere, to be honest. I don't know about New York. I haven't been in New York. Sorry. I think that food is probably really good too, from what I've heard. But holy fuck, we were in Chicago a couple weeks ago and we were practically crying. Me and my girlfriend are sitting in a hotel room just ordering food, having food delivered, going and picking up food, going out to get food with people. Every time just ranting and raving and fucking like literally sitting in our hotel room, high as shit, of course, you know, and getting the perfect fucking Mexican food just brought to us, which is a thing that's really hard to get in New Orleans, is good Mexican food. There's only, God, oh, man, really 3-4 places, and it's not even consistent. But we were just going, God, we have to move back here because they give you good portions and all the ingredients are evenly distributed and it's beautiful. The whole thing is perfect. It's cooked right. It's brought in some nice container. Everything we ordered is correct. They didn't fuck it, dude. You would not believe in New Orleans the amount of times our orders have been fucked up, and it's not like there's no consistency to what type of place or when you do it. Dude, it's just a low standard town. That whole week we were in Chicago, it was 85% of the conversation was about food. Because it was just, we were just sitting there just shaking our heads and looking at each other like, I can't believe how good this is. I haven't had anything like this in fucking months. Oh my God. Hash browns with the fucking South. Look, there's a lot of good food in the South. There's pockets in the South that have amazing fucking this type or that type of food. I'm going to give it to Memphis, Knoxville, Chattanooga. There's places, there's great food, that whole area there. There's great food in Florida, a few places. There's great food here if you're rich. But I'm telling you, dude, 90% of the South, will you fucking... Well, I don't know what's wrong with you. Hash browns, you fucking idiot. Not grits. Hash browns. The fuck are you doing with your weird processed corn sludge? That shit is fucking garbage, dude. That's fucking pig food. That's like what you feed to a hog. Do you understand that? That's what people ate because they were so goddamn poor that's all they had. So they learned to like it. You don't actually fucking like that shit. I'm telling you. And here's how I know that grits isn't actually good. Is that I don't know a single fucking person ever that I've met that grew up not eating grits that likes grits, to be honest with you. Unless they're one of those people that go, oh, no, you just got to add a whole bunch of butter, salt, pepper, cheese, maybe some onions on top. Okay. All of those things without the grits would still taste fucking good, by the way, to me at least. I'm not interested in some kind of sludgy, generic, weirdo fucking mush that only tastes good when you add 8 other things. Yeah, it doesn't taste like anything. It's fucking, oh, Jesus. Hash browns, you fucking assholes. The whole state of goddamn Mississippi There, you go to Arkansas, fucking Georgia, everywhere you fucking go. What is this shit, dude? What is this fucking grits? And then you order hash browns, and what do they bring you? Some kind of like boiled potato fucking mush that's all chopped up. It looks like they put it in a fucking wood chipper. That's how inconsistent what they give you is in a lot of the South. They just give you this big, like, weird potato mess that's giant pieces and tiny burnt pieces, and it's maybe boiled because it's all soft, but it's not fucking... They threw it on the grill for a couple minutes and just stirred it around. It's fucking disgusting. Or they give you, what's this? Home fries. Some big-ass fucking deep-fried squares of potato. Get the fuck out of here. A big pile of fucking shredded hash browns that are cooked all the way. Brown. That's the other thing. Oh, Jesus, man. So much of the fucking Midwest, even, and the South, if they do have the shredded hash browns, they cook them like they're fucking asparagus. Like it's fucking, just par cooked or whatever they say. What is that shit? How different is your mouth that fucking half-cooked hash browns taste good to you? Why would you give that to me when I'm paying you goddamn money for these fucking things? God damn it! The fucking food situation has me out of my fucking mind. Like, me and my girlfriend have seriously, dude, I'm not fucking kidding you. We've sat here 50 fucking times and gotten food that we were offended. Like, just, this is terrible. This is fucking terrible. I'm not even going to call anyone out by name in New Orleans. Although I shouldn't I? Shouldn't I? You're right. What was some of the worst fucking shit that we've had? Oh, okay. Here's one for you. I might have told this story before. I don't remember, but here you go. We're at a place called Slim Goodies. Okay, you can look that up. SLIM. Obviously. Why am I spelling this? Jesus. Okay. We're at a place called Slim Goodies on Magazine Street in New Orleans. And we're sitting at they have counter seating, and it's an open kitchen. So we're sitting there. We just ordered coffee. We're looking at the menu. I was eating at this place for fucking years because it was halfway. I'm telling you, this food sucked ass, and it was like my favorite place. This food was like if you had to fucking make a meal at CVS because it's 5 a.m. and you're drunk as shit. So you go to CVS and you get like a can of meatless chili and some tortilla chips and shit, you know what I mean? You start trying to make some shit meal. That's what it was like there. That was about how the food made you feel. It was okay. It was like, okay, fuck it. I'll have some coffee and I'll eat this garbage. And it was my favorite goddamn place. That's how terrible this fucking town is. I'm telling you. New Orleans sucks ass. And we're sitting at the counter drinking coffee, and I'm watching this cook because he just looked kind of like off to, I don't know, he just looked weird. I think he was really tall. That's what it was. He was like really tall and gangly. And he goes back and sits on one of those 5-gallon buckets, whatever, and he's sitting in the back where I could still see him in full view. We could all see him. And he takes off his shoe and he takes off his sock and starts rubbing his sweaty foot with both hands. I'm not shitting you. I'm not fucking making this up. Darcy will tell you. He's rubbing his ankle and his heel and his arch and his... No, he didn't have the sock over his toes. He had the sock pulled up so that it was still on his toes. So, to be fair, he did not go between the toes, which would have been even worse. But he's rubbing his whole goddamn foot and his fucking everything. And I tell Darcy as I'm like, look, watch. And she's watching. And I was like, dude, I will bet you anything that this guy doesn't wash his hands before he comes back to the fucking grill. Flat grill. Cracking eggs. Grabbing vegetables for omelets. Ham. Cheese. Sticking his hand in every fucking thing. Sure enough, He gets up. He pulls his sock back up, puts the shoe back on, gets up, walks back over to the fucking thing, grabs a ticket off the machine, starts fucking cooking. No hand wash. No nothing. Just starts handling ingredients again. We go, all right, that's it. We're done. And our waiter had just come up. And he was really nice, this kid. He was probably about 25 or something like that. And he was really cool, really nice guy. And he comes up and he's like, we're just like, bro, we gotta go. And he's like, what's going on? And we're like, dude, we're just gonna pay for our coffee and get out of here. We just saw something we can't deal with. And he got a little bit nervous. He's like, can we go outside? I'm like, yeah, let's go outside. So we go outside and we tell him the whole story of what just happened. And he goes, holy fucking shit, that is ridiculous. Like, yeah, don't even give me anything. He's like, you guys just it's on the house. And we're like, all right, we won't pay for our coffee, but here's $5 for you just because you brought us coffee and we, you know, here's a tip. You're being cool. Take $5 and we're out of here. And he was fucking mortified. I was like, dude, whatever. But yeah, that's what I really saw at Slim Goodies. I'm gonna call out a lot of other restaurants. I don't know if this is right or whatever. I kind of really actually give a shit. Fuck you. But that's that one. Now I could do 50 more on just places that give you terrible like I'm talking insulting portions. Like we've paid like, you know, $12.95 for a fucking stir fry thing that comes with like 3-4 pieces of meat. I'm not even shitting you, dude. There is terrible shit going on in this city, man. Terrible shit. What else? Mississippi, get your shit together, fucking assholes. Southern Illinois leaves a lot to be desired. There are little tiny pockets of good food. Tennessee and Kentucky, fuck yeah. Keep rocking it. Really good job. North Carolina, yeah. South Carolina, yeah. Definitely. I'm going to be honest, Atlanta, I don't know. I've never been to Atlanta. I'd like to try the food there. Let me know what's good. I travel a lot. I get to travel in a decent amount. So if you are listening to this and enjoying the show, please let me know about some food in some different areas because I would like to try it. Let me hear about some shit. I love goddamn food. Holy shit, I love fucking food so much. Wait, that sounded weird. I love eating food so much. That's what I should have said. Got a couple more things to say. Be back in a minute. Okay, I gotta go in a minute. But, you know, kind of wrap things up here. Sorry about, you know, whatever I did wrong tonight. And whatever I do wrong in the future. Because, time is an illusion, right? And you have to exist eternally in your present state of consciousness to be relevant in my mind. Yeah, that's how you know the show's over. Start doing shit like that. What the fuck was that? One last thing. Our next show is going to be about Cairo, Illinois. Or Cairo, as they say, I guess. This place is fucking crazy. And it's not like particularly dangerous or violent or anything like that. It's just so sad and depressing to go there because it's one of the most classic examples, if not the most, that I've ever seen in my life of a place that used to be flourishing that has gone completely down the fucking toilet. This is down on the very southern tip of Illinois where the Ohio River meets the Mississippi. And we drove through there. We ended up spending the night and then spending the better part of an afternoon there. And just driving around and just looking at everything and just being like, wow, there's, it's the old abandoned movie theater. 80, maybe 90% of businesses in the main like downtown area were abandoned. I'm not shitting you. There was very few fucking things around even. And there was a shitload of abandoned houses. There wasn't a total absence of, civilization or anything like that. There was a lot of people, probably. I was surprised to hear that there was around 2,000 people living in the town, because when I was there, I would have guessed maybe a couple hundred. I don't know where the fuck everybody was, but there's some nice places, and people that are taking care of their areas and stuff and places like that. But then there's whole other areas where it's just, man, it's just completely abandoned. Nobody would ever open a business in this place because nobody's got any goddamn money. I went to the fucking little store to get cigarettes, and this is like some country shit. When you're used to being like kind of in or around a city, you go in this place and there's like a bunch of handwritten like signs, and everything's all makeshift and like kind of thrown together and shit, and like the counters made out of fucking 2x4s and plexiglass that the guy's standing behind. It's like, all right, what's up? And all they had in this place was Viceroys and Cools. That was their only choices for cigarettes. And honestly, I was looking for cigarettes so long in this fucking town that I probably would have bought almost anything. But they're like Viceroys and Cools. I'm like, God damn it, I guess I'll just have to keep looking. Because just to let you in on me, I normally roll my own cigarettes. Much, much healthier, as you know. Anyways, a town that once had about 30,000 people in it, now reduced to about 2,000 people, about 60% of whom are on welfare. There's no jobs there. There's nothing anyone can fucking do there. They should abandon ship, to be honest with you, logically speaking. But here's the most interesting part, because I drove through there. I spent the next 6 hours. Well, we hung out there and everything for a whole afternoon and blah, blah, blah. I spent the next 6 hours driving back to New Orleans on our way home, reading everything I could get my hands on about Cairo, Illinois. And the overall impression that I got was that this place was the southernmost city in all of the Union back in the Civil War. And it was the first stop out of the Confederacy coming up the Mississippi River. It is a place where racial division has existed in an extreme way for 200 years. And I swear to God, we're not usually one of those shows, and I'm not usually one of those people to really focus on race and racism a lot. But I think it's true, and we're going to do a whole show about it, and about how an entire generation of people intentionally crippled their own town rather than allow black people to own businesses and property. And that shit really happened. So we're going to do that on the next show. That's what's coming next. And if you stuck through this whole drunken mess, I really appreciate it. Shout out to Marcus in Germany. Shout out to Eric in New York. All the loyal people. Whoever you are. Boy, do I really remember your names and think about you all the time. This has been the Overdose Talk Show. I hope that you die in a huge fire